Okay, looks like the class is filling up. We'll begin in just a couple of minutes. We'll wait for everybody else to come in and for some more people to enter the chat. Okay. I think the class is now live. The chat is up. Looks like we have just about a full class. We'll wait a little bit longer. As a reminder, if you have a particularly loud background, I'm going to mute you. It's not out of disrespect, it just means we have to make sure we hear everybody. Okay, so I'm coming around right now to see if anybody's got any loud noises. Okay, I think we're all right. All right. Well, good afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you are. It's great to have you here. My name's Matthew. I'm a teacher here on Verbling. Those of you who are new, I'm an American, originally from the state of Texas in the United States. I see Yassine and 14 other people are in the chat. It's good to see everybody. And in the chat, we have some familiar faces and some new people. So beginning from left to right, I'm going to ask everybody to say your name, your country, maybe where you're from, and tell me a little bit about what do you think is the most important thing in a country's legal system? Why do you think a legal system is so important for a successful country? So with that, let's go ahead and begin with Mr. Abdullah Yasser. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
It's great to see you, Abdullah. How are you?
I'm fine. It's nice to see you too. My name is Abdullah. I'm from Cairo, Egypt.
Wonderful.
I see that the legal is very important to make everyone go in order to not making big mistakes.
So you think it's a good check on society to make sure we don't go a little crazy, right?
Yeah.
I think, and this is such an important topic for Egypt right now, your Supreme Court, I think, recently stopped coming to work because of the political situation. Is that true?
Yes. After tomorrow, there gonna be a voting on the book of the rules of the country. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. Yes, and in English we call this book of rules the Constitution. It's it's the rules that your government will be designed after. So there will be a vote. Be sure to go vote, Abdullah.
I'm afraid that I can't because I'm under 18 years old.
You're underage? How old are you?
31 March, I will be 18. I'm almost 18.
Oh, almost. Oh, that's so sad. I was almost old enough to vote in 2004, but I was just 7 days too young, so I had to wait until the next presidential election. It was so frustrating. Welcome. We're happy to have you. I see we have Adel, Mr. Adel Binganen. How are you, sir?
Yes, I'm fine, thanks. I'm Adel. I'm from Yemen.
Wow. Are you from Sana'a?
No, from Hadramaut.
Oh, okay.
Mukalla. Near from Mukalla. That's the big city in the south.
Okay.
And I'm now in Australia.
Go ahead.
I think the legal is good and important for the country to make a same and equal choice to everyone to get what they think to do. And I think important for to see that you are secure and everyone can go to court. No one that's up to the rules and law. I think that's very, very important. And Yemen now is very, very bad because not all can go to court. Or, yeah, you can't make that.
So your legal system has access to your legal system is not equal right now.
Yeah, because the politician that's now go inside to the court and justice, and this make not fair for everyone.
I think this will be with you. I'm happy that Adel and Abdullah, you're both here. I think with both of you here, we are going to have a very interesting debate topic today. Let's go ahead and Mr. Ahmed Ayadi, are you there?
Hello. Yes, I am here.
Hi, Ahmed. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
All right. Where are you from?
I'm from Tunisia.
Tunisia.
Yes.
Wow. We have much of the Arab Spring here today. Fantastic. Wow. This is amazing. So, what is your opinion, being a Tunisian? Why do you think the legal system is so important?
Legal system is so important because it helps us to keep security, especially running. Because like these days in Tunisia, we are having problems of strikes everywhere. All you hear in the news is there was a strike in this town, there was a strike in this town. And people burning tires and not working. We want something now. We want raising in pay. We want. And actually, there was a strike going to be tomorrow, but the government did a negotiation with the people responsible for that, and they eliminated in the last minute.
Oh, that's so strange. I can't believe it. But I'm happy that at least a crisis was averted. But I think it's wonderful that you could be here. I'm happy to have you. So no, likewise. And moving on, we seem to have Brenda is back. Brenda, why are you asleep in your picture?
Okay, I'm not sleeping. It's just that my sister took that picture when I was holding Pinky, the dog.
Is that your puppy?
Actually, it's my grand aunt puppy.
Oh yeah, I'm a very big dog person. So my dog is actually bigger than I am. He weighs more. Actually, he weighs more than I do. He's a huge dog. One of these days, I'm going to show him to you guys. So, Brenda, I get to you today. I don't mean to cause a controversy, but I'm so shocked. Did you hear about Maria Veron's case today?
Yes, it was so sad. That is what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, actually, that is what made me decide to make the class topic about the legal system.
Yes, so sad.
Yeah.
The entire country is in shock because those people, the person who was involved, all of them are 13, and there was a lot of evidence, and they go out. They are free. So it's like, why they do that? Why the judge let them go? It's so frustrated the situation when because in the news they were transmitting alive when they say the sentence, which they let them go. And when I hear that, I start to cry because it's so unfair. Why they do that?
Guys, for those of you who don't know, there was a huge court case in in Argentina. I don't know if many of you know, but Argentina famously has a huge, we would call it human trafficking problem. It was a secret black market in Argentina for a long time because, how to say, the machista culture, the corrupt sort of businessman culture, kept it secret. And today, the local court decided that 13 men, all 13 men who possibly...
And women.
And women, everybody who was involved in a case where a young girl was forced to be a prostitute, forced to be a sex slave, that they were innocent. Now, to be fair, I really have a lot of faith in legal systems. I don't know the kind of exact evidence, and actually the judges have not explained the total details of their reasons, so we should be ready to try to understand how maybe it's possible that the burden of proof or the burden of proof for the prosecution was not strong enough. We don't know. We need to see. But historically,
they're going to appeal.
Yeah, but historically, many Argentine courts have been corrupt in the past, so it's shocking that this may happen. So, I think we can talk. We're definitely going to talk about that today. So wonderful to have you. Okay, Mr. Kaiwan Hao, how are you? Mr. Hao. Oh.
Hi.
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 How are you doing, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Wonderful. And where are you calling from today?
Singapore.
Singapore. Oh, wow. Maybe the richest city in the world.
Probably, yeah.
I like it. He's like, yep, probably. My city is the richest city in the world, probably. It's true.
Yeah.
I agree. So, here's a question. Why do you think that legal systems are so important for a country?
For example, providing security, like what Ahmed has said, mentioned earlier. For example, in Singapore, it's illegal to conduct strikes. Okay, yeah, it's illegal to conduct strikes. So normally you don't see strikes roaming around in Singapore. Yeah.
So in Singapore, striking is illegal. Those of you who don't know, striking, it's when labor or organized workers refuse to go to work as a way to try and negotiate for better wages or working conditions. Yeah, it's in Singapore, striking is illegal. So this is done for security reasons, to create a very stable society. And I think Singapore is so famous for being clean and stable. Very, very, very stable.
For example, littering, you'll be fined $500.
Wow! Did you guys hear that?
Littering,
throwing trash on the ground is equal to a 500. Is that Singapore dollar or US dollar?
Yeah, 5 Singapore dollars.
Okay, that's equivalent to about. It's still a lot. About $300.
Yeah.
Yeah, about
$300 or more. So,
yeah.
So the same goes to smoking also. So it's not allowed to smoke in public places. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's relatively clean.
Yeah, relatively clean. And Yassine in the Verbling chat's like, smoking and littering's free in Syria. Okay, and this is good because we all come from different legal systems. Mr. Hao, his system is. Would you prefer Kaiwan or Hao?
Just Hao.
Hao? Okay.
Yeah.
His country is so famous for its law and order, but this comes with a compromise, doesn't it? Maybe some of your individual liberty you have to sacrifice for this security and stability. And I think most Singapore people would agree that's okay, but would every culture agree? Maybe not. I think this will be a good debate today. We're wonderful to have you here. We have people from many interesting legal systems today. Okay, and we have Erman Azla. Are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Where are you from, sir?
I am from Turkey.
From Turkey. What city?
Izmir.
Izmir. Oh, wonderful. And why do you think a legal system for a country is so important?
I think legal system is very crucial because we have a legal system. If we hadn't, we cannot provide security for people. Besides, people would want to be justice.
So you think a legal system is necessary not just for security, but for providing a sense of justice for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's a great one. I think that's a great argument, and likewise, very happy to have you here today.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have then next is Fernando Del Prado. How are you, Fernando?
Hi, I'm Matthew. Fine. Can
Wonderful.
you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Where? Oh, so where are you calling from?
I'm from Spain.
Wow, it's wonderful to have you here. And what part of Spain are you from?
From the north, from the Basque country.
The Basque Country.
Yes.
Talk about interesting legal situations.
Yes, okay.
Those who don't know the Basque Country is a different culture from the rest of Spain. And please correct me if I'm wrong, Fernando.
Yes.
There's been a movement for a long time for more independence or self-government in the Basque Country.
Yes, but you know that the countries are really old, and there are different cultures, different languages, and different kind of food. Is but in the countries in one country, so it's because they are very antique countries. But what you were saying about the legal system, I think is very important because it can guarantee us the human rights. For example, the rights of women, the rights of gay people. I think here in Europe we have got the human rights that are really important for the development of the humanity.
Definitely. I think so. And it's wonderful to have you here with us today. And it's wonderful because I know that we also in the chat room have an individual from the other part of Spain, the non-Basque part of Spain. We're going to get to her in a moment. So wonderful to have you here, sir. I definitely appreciate. I like that we come from so many legal codes and legal systems. This will be good. So Manuel, you're next. How are you, Manuel?
Hello. Fine.
Wonderful. Where are you calling from?
I calling from Spain.
Spain also. Whoa!
Yes,
wow, we
yes.
have 3 Spaniards.
In the opposite corner of Spain, of Fernando del Prado, I live in the opposite corner of the Spain, in the south.
Oh, what city again?
Las Palmas.
Las Palmas. Oh, all the way on the south part of Spain.
Yes, in Canary Island.
Wow, that's... Wait, on Canary Island?
Yes.
All right, Manuel, I want to trade places with you. Do you mind? We're going to trade lives. You can come here to live in Texas, and I will come live in Las Palmas. Problem solved.
If you want, I would like go to Texas. I never have been there.
Oh, well, we speak Spanish, so bienvenidos, no problem.
In Texas, there are a lot of people who speak Spanish, I think.
Sí, porque en Texas hablamos inglés y español. Texas is bilingual. Even for example, we're talking about legal systems. Texas is the only American state where our legal code is written in English and Spanish. We're the only state where we have a bilingual legal system, except for Louisiana. Louisiana has English and French, but we're the only 2 states that have bilingual.
Louisiana belongs to Texas.
No. Louisiana is its own state. It used to belong to France. Yeah, it's its own state. It used to belong to France, so they speak a kind of French language. It's very interesting. So why do you think legal codes are so important?
Well, it's very important for many reasons. First of this reason is, for example, provide security. Provide security with the police system. Provide security. Provide justice. It's very useful for prevent political corruption. In Spain, right now there are a lot of cases of political corruption. I think that with a good system, with a good legal system, probably no habrían tantos. Many cases of the corruption of police and other public establishment could be avoided with a good legal system, I think, and many other things that could be avoided with a good legal system.
With a good legal system, and that's a good point to move on to our third Spaniard in our class. Pilar says, but if the legal system is also corrupt too, what could happen? And so with that, Pilar, how are you doing?
Very good.
So what part of Spain are you from again?
I'm from Navarra.
All right, so happy.
Basque country. Yeah, there is an interesting because there is some legal historical situations between these two parts of Spain. So yeah. But I think the legal system is very important because sometimes I think it's a little bit sad that human needs some rules. All want to think everybody's a person and yeah, we love everybody, but the real thing is that's not always true. No? Some people and I think you need something to protect the justice or something. I think it's not that.
I think so. Pilar, I also want to let you know, Fabio is saying your connection's a little weak, so if you have to log out or log back in, you can try, but we can still hear you. Pilar says that a legal system is important because humans need rules. She argues that even though we like to think we are all good people and we love each other, the truth is humans are capable of a lot of terrible things, as she argues. And so sometimes they need strong rules and institutions to control our bad instincts, which brings us, lastly, to Yassine. Yassine, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Matthew? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. You finally got into class. It's great to see you. I should take away from your grade because you're late. So, tell everybody your country, where you're at now, and why do you think a strong legal system is important?
Hello, I am Yassine Safia. I'm from Syria. I live in the United Arab Emirates. Well, can you say the question again?
Sure. Why do you think a legal system or a set of laws is so important? Why is like a court's laws? Why is it?
Because it's make a freedom to others, that we have to respect others and not to make annoying not to anybody, and give a freedom to each one of us and make people go straight in their life.
What do you think right now about the status of the legal system in Syria?
Now it's in formatting. We are making a new one.
Oh, it's being blueprinted. We're making the next level. Did you hear that my country, the United States, recognized the rebels as the government of Syria?
Yeah, I heard about that. That's
I was a
That's a
little
good.
surprised. I thought that maybe we would not do that, but we did. I was like, oh, good job. That's cool. Maybe I think we will
But
avoid
maybe it
entering
will.
it. Huh? Go ahead.
Yeah, but maybe it will take a lot of time to make Syria reset and be in
Oh,
peace.
a long time,
Yeah,
definitely.
maybe similar to Iraq. I think Iraq took more than 10 years, I think.
Yes, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you think, the United States will not be able to provide any military force for the rebels in
Yeah.
Syria, not like in Iraq. Our financial
Mm.
situation is not good, and frankly, the American public is tired of. It does not want another war. To
Mm.
be honest, I'm sorry.
Don't
But
worry.
recognition of the rebels, that's an interesting thing because that provides the rebels with some legal power as a
Mm.
government.
Yeah, of course.
And maybe the European countries will recognize the rebels as well now. Because the US was the first. I was very shocked. Normally we're a little more conservative, but this time we were the first
Maybe
country.
because of taxes and fines of the US.
Possible. I think so. So moving on, let's go ahead and start opening the floor here. I guess I have to also answer. It's my job as a teacher to lead by example. Fair enough. I'm originally from the United States, from Texas. What do I think of legal? I think a strong legal system is very important because it can create stability in society and also control a good legal system is capable of controlling a government to keep anybody, whether it's a Congress or a president, from becoming too powerful. And it's also good for protecting the rights of minority groups and different groups in society. Fernando brings up a point that many of Europe's countries are antique countries, he says, with many different groups living in them. America is a baby, kind of a young country, but maybe it's the most diverse country in the world. But however, we don't have any separation. Our political system is not in any situation where a state is going to break away or become an independent country. I think a lot of that has to do with the power of our legal codes and our legal system, that it's able to defend and protect minority groups, and it's designed for a country of immigrants. It's specifically designed for the special needs of a American republic. So I think a legal code is so important, and maybe one legal system that works in one country cannot work in another. Maybe America's legal system, maybe I don't think it can work in Spain. You have to pick one that's right for Spain or right for Syria.
Excuse me, Matthew, but in the United States, every state has a different legal system.
Well, we have one state legal system, but also we have a national legal system too. And the national, we have something called, we have something called the Supremacy Clause. The Supremacy Clause is the rule in our Constitution, our national Constitution, that says any state level law is below the national law. And if a state law disagrees with a national law, the state law is destroyed. It's called the Supremacy Clause. I think that's part of our legal system. I agree with you. We have different state laws and codes. For example, Texas's system is a mixture of English common law and Spanish law. What do you call it? Spanish common law, but New York system is only English common law. I think it gives us a lot of, how you say, flexibility, but at the same point, we have a national system too that provides us a lot of unity, and both of these together create a very stable situation that takes care of our diverse needs. Like for example, I think you recognize California's legal system is maybe a lot different than New York or Alabama, but we still all have to obey federal laws. Yeah,
I think
very complicated.
Very, very complicated.
Has its own system legal.
But they're also
Every
all,
state?
but they're also all very similar, believe it or not. They all have, for example, a local court, county court, state Supreme Court. It's always it's the same system or the same basic structure, but each of them has their own code of laws and their own state government. But over every single state is a federal court system, and then there's the United States Supreme Court, which of course is the #1 court that can control any case. And if the Supreme Court makes a decision, then there's no choice; it must be obeyed. But I agree with you. Go ahead.
Here in Europe, I think the governments want to build a country similar to United States with European countries, but it's really difficult because European countries are very old countries, and there are big differences between them.
That's right.
And a lot of rivalities, and furthermore, the biggest country, the most powerful, is Germany. And France is really powerful, and England too, and it's really difficult to build something similar to United States.
There, I think you have a strong point. Even though Americans like to think, of course, each of our states is very different and unique. Texas is, of course, much different than, say, New York. But for example, is much different than, say, New York, but our differences are very small compared to, say, if Italy and England or Great Britain are going to be part of one country. These are ancient nations that have a lot of national identity, whereas the American states, we're very different culturally from each other, but we have a lot of common history that unites us.
This is the key. Yes, in Europe there are a lot of countries with different history. It's very difficult putting in common all these people from different countries. It's very difficult.
Yes, I definitely agree with you. What about over in the Middle East? We have our friends that are in Tunisia, in Yemen, and in Egypt. As we know, Egypt, Yemen, and Tunisia have been undergoing some major political reforms and maybe a little bit a revolution. Don't you think so?
Yes.
What do you guys think is the importance of any new legal system that your countries have? What should it look like? What do you think? Any of you can answer.
For me, I think.
Go ahead. Ahmed first? Or
ahead.
Adele?
I think the human rights is very important for all. Now in Yemen, there's a big problem between South and North, because before 1990 we are two countries, and after 1990 we are just one country, one Yemen. Before we look like Korea, North and South.
North and South.
And we become that's 1990. That's one country, but the system that's not good, because they think that's the South people think that's the system like not support us, and we are this many source and many things, and now they went let's make new legal, and the France support government Yemen to do the good rules and new conjunction. Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. And Ahmed, I think Ahmed was trying to say something too.
Yes. Well, I think like Adil says, I think human rights are the most important thing to be considered in the legal system, but also security. Like I mentioned earlier, with no security, nothing can be made. If there are criminals all over the place, stealing and robbing, there will be no investment, no working, no anything. Even foreigners who were trying to come and invest in a country and they find the absence of security, they will go. Like for us, for example, in Tunisia, people who tried to come and invest here from France and in the interior states which are having problems and they found the lack of security there, many of them, shut down their projects or went to Morocco. So it reduces our chances. Also here we have a problem, of security. The interior states have a very low, not very low, but they have a little lack of security than the capital. Even the capital is different. And that's a problem.
To attract. So because of the security situation in Tunisia, Tunisia has been unable to attract a lot of Tunisia. Tunisia has been unable to attract a lot of foreign investment because of security concerns. So Ahmad actually argues, hey guys, we need to respect human rights, but we also need to make sure that we have a legal system that can enforce the rule of law. Because without that, foreign investment will not come into Tunisia. That's a major, I think I agree with you, that's a major concern, because after you destroy an old government, even if it's a bad government, you need to make sure that your new government has the rule of law and stability. Yes, definitely.
But the advantage we had among other Arab Spring countries is that, we have less victims in our revolution because the army was with the people 100%. The army, the military disobeyed the old president orders to shoot the people. So, it was like a lack of security in the beginning of revolution for like week or two, unlike, Egypt or Libya and Syria. But the lack of security I talked about started after that with the strikes and burning tires and demanding things, raise the wages and stuff. That was the most thing that caused problems.
And moving over, Abdullah, your nation is going to vote on a new constitution soon. What do you hope that the new constitution's legal system is going to provide for your country?
I hope that in our country, our government, our new government, be sure then there will be a devolution of power. There are no government stay in the power for 30 years, like the less government, and there no be corruption in the government.
And reduce corruption. So you hope two things. One, that the national government will give more power to local governments and states instead of just controlling all of it themselves, as a way to balance power and also to help reduce corruption. I think that's very important. True. Do you think it will be easy, though? Because, of course, the military is a national government, is a part of the national government, and they seem like they're very interested in keeping power.
No, now I think that the military get out of the view. It's he's no hand in the power now.
I certainly hope so.
I think
too.
that.
I certainly hope so too. That's I think a civilian rule of law would be wonderful for Egypt. That said, back to Brenda, who's asleep with her dog. That's a little weird. Brenda.
Why you say my name like that? Sounds weird, Matthew.
Brenda. Okay, so in Argentina, Argentina's had an interesting past recently, a past of how to say, trying government corruption and war criminals and Nazi sympathizers, and most recently, they attempted to punish people who were supposedly involved in human trafficking. Human trafficking, of course, as we know, is a modern form of slavery, where people are immigrating to another country or moving from one city to the other for economic benefit, and instead they're kidnapped and coerced into either forced labor or the sex trade. And it's been a major issue in Argentina and really much of Latin America for a long time, but it was always sort of secret. But in recent years in Argentina, there's been a lot of progress to attack this issue. But today, there was a shocking revelation. There was a national court case in Argentina where the 13 accused individuals, all 13 were found innocent. And maybe we don't know, maybe the evidence was not strong against them, but it's a little surprising that all 13 would be found completely, totally innocent, to be honest. Brenda, being in Argentina right now, what was the news coverage of this case like?
The news?
Yeah, what was it like in the media as you were listening to this?
Everybody is talking about this. It's like we are so, Matthew, this situation is really, really sad. We don't understand why the judge released these people, and I don't know. It's so hard to understand why they did that. Even if they say what they did, we are not going to believe them. We believe that they were paid. They are corrupted. Corruptos.
Corrupted. You think that they committed bribery, that they were given money, perhaps? Is that?
Yes. Everybody believes that. Even the governor of Tucumán, which is the state where the trial was done, he said that. And even the president of Argentina, she said that this is so unfair, that she's so mad about it, because these people, they shouldn't go out. Even they have a lot of evidence and even witness girl that were released by Susana Trimarco, which is Marita Verón's mom, and they don't believe to the victims. They laugh of the victim. One the lawyer who defends the accused, in one opportunity, he said that girl, they like to be in that position, to be a sex slave. So we don't understand why they let them go, even when they have a lot of evidence and they have a lot of witness. So it's a huge mess here in Argentina. A lot of people go out to the street to march, asking for justice, protest, yes. And also there are a lot of incidents. So it's a really sad situation.
Yeah, it's unfortunately very, very, very sad. I'm very, I don't know how to really express my sadness over it. At one point, of course, those who have had a class with me before, I'm afraid I cannot be neutral or objective about my hatred on human trafficking. It stems really deep. Of course, Texas, my home state, is the main source of trafficking in the U.S., so much of my work in the state government has involved making stricter laws against traffickers, but of course the legal system is not enough. You also have to deal with the economic issues, and I don't want to judge too deeply on a judicial system, because witnesses, of course, are not necessarily enough because it's just a circumstantial. We would say circumstantial evidence. So I don't know maybe if that was the case, that there was only circumstantial evidence, but even then, it's surprising that all 13 were found innocent completely. You would imagine that maybe 6 or some of them would be found innocent, and then a couple maybe found guilty. At any rate, I'm very eager and excited to see what they the judge's formal ruling, because they're going to give out their the long version of their opinion to explain their legal reason for declaring innocence. I think it will be read very closely. So let's see if they have a good reason or not. But at least it will be appealed. Right.
Actually, in Syria, if someone kills another one, he will get in jail. But if the killer knows an officer, he can pay bribery, then he can go out.
Oh, really? That's
yeah.
So if
same to Yemen, yeah. Yemen,
same here. The
Here,
revolution in Tunisia was the main reason of the revolution in Tunisia was the corruption of the president and his family.
in the U.S., or at least in my home state of Texas, maybe you know, if you kill somebody in my state, what do you think happens?
Electric chair.